welcome to Jabberjaw. I'm your host, Jessica Dawson Collier, and with me, as always, is Tyson Wheeler Dynas and Matthew David Smith. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Howdy.
And thank you for showing up.
Yeah, that's like the one thing I have to do every week. It's cool. Anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Not for much longer, though. Aren't you headed back to work soon?
Yeah. It was weird. Today I actually went and had lunch with my team because
Nice.
one of my supervisors was in town. So that was really weird. It was like, so you're not at work yet? I'm like, no, I don't know. I just came in to meet you, get a free meal, I guess. But yeah, so I start back on Wednesday. So, to be honest with you, since I work from home, it'll be basically the same. I'll just have a meeting every day or something like that. Like
There you go.
a scrum. Is it really a meeting? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Unless if it's bad, it's a meeting, I guess technically.
It's a meeting, yeah.
It's always
That's what I've heard about.
It's just a fancy name to trick people into a fun morning meeting. Scrum. It's a meeting every day. First thing. Yeah. Scrum. Oh, does it stand for something? No.
Ooh.
I don't know. I have my mixed feelings about Scrum. Do you have a Scrum, Dawson? Do you have a Scrum?
No, we don't. But I talked to a lot of engineers about their experience in an agile environment and things like that. And they're like, some of them are very much like regimented, like, yes, we have a scrum meeting every day, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, okay, you'll fit in great here.
What about you, Matt? You guys have scrum? I assume you do because you're spread out, right?
Just Mondays and Fridays though. So and they're actually usually pretty quick. So we do them right. It's not an open forum for everyone to air their grievances.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's nice. So you got to get it down. I think every morning I think is a tad much.
Every morning is excessive. Yeah.
But I will say with the sort of work from home thing since COVID, like I do like them more. Like I thought they were a little more valuable because like in the office, you just saw everybody anyway. So it's just like, oh, hey, let's just all get in the same room for, X amount of minutes. And right. But no, so we have them, but they're selective scrums. They're precision scrums.
We have one every day, except for like the day that we're going to do a sprint planning because we're not going to have to meet anyway. But like our company is recently really leaned into Agile and I don't think they quite understand how it works. Like they basically made the scrum masters into the project managers, and sort of took away a lot of what the project manager is supposed to do, which is like assign tickets and things like that.
Yeah.
And so it's very strange, but I have a feeling that the parent company, founded in 1618, has probably been doing it the wrong way since it started. So that's just how they do it. So I don't know.
around the early morning campfire,
tradition,
yeah. We're gonna find archaeological evidence of Scrum existing, like pre-industrial revolution. I like that.
Yeah, I think I really do, because I always make the joke that our company, started as the Dutch East India Tea Trading Company or whatever. Because we've been around for so long. We started in Denmark or something like that. Not the company I work for, but the subsidiary I work for started 20 years ago. But anyway, I need to look up and see actually how old the company is. I know that my employee number is 1212269, which means they've had some employees.
A few.
Yes, a few. Yeah.
And
unless they padded it like a new checkbook where they started at like 100,000, but
I don't.
Probably not. Probably not.
I know that's a big company. I remember when sanctions were being put out against right at the beginning of the Ukraine war. We all got emails being like, okay, if you work in these, that have a list of countries where like you will be using these sanctions against Russia and then blah blah blah. And I was like, do I need to know this? But I mean, that's how big the company is. They just were like, fuck it, let's just send it to everybody. Then no one can say they didn't get the email, So I don't know. It worked. I mean, I did have to stop sending pies to Putin. That's a weird thing, but whatever. I wasn't doing much of that anyway.
Pie man, is he? He's a pie man.
He's a pie man.
Not a
pie man.
Not a sweet guy. Okay, yeah, great. Ugh, that's funny.
So how is everybody doing? It's warmer here. I assume it's warmer there too.
Finally.
It is. Yeah, it was like
Yes.
60
Yeah.
yesterday, and it's like 50s
Yeah.
today.
Same here.
So
Yeah. Same here. It's been pleasant out, which is a drastic difference than the contrast, if you will. It's been really nice. Like go
yeah,
outside and people like alive, like again, like they're just happy to be alive.
they
Like,
are happy. I got a
very happy
hello
to be alive.
today on the way to the
Whoa!
gym.
Like
I was like,
Wow.
stranger hello? Oh wow.
Yeah,
stranger hello. Yeah, it was weird.
Wow.
that's good.
That's nice. Yeah. That's
It's good when
Yeah,
nice.
you get somebody to open the door for you too. So it's like, oh, that's
haven't
nice.
gotten that yet. I'm really
Uh,
looking forward to that. I may tear up actually if and when that happens. Like
there's a
spring is here.
there's this place like around the corner from where I live, and it's called Eagle Armory, and they sell guns and bullets, I assume, and hostages.
Excellent.
I don't
Fuck
know.
yeah. All
But
right.
anyway, they have two vehicles with, you've seen the how people put their business decals on the sides of their cars or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh
they have
yeah.
like a Mustang and like a some kind of big ass suburban truck type thing, and it is just plastered with it. I mean, it is it's just like bullet holes in the side, in
Classy.
the windows.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
super
Nice.
super classy. And I pulled up right next to him. We were going. I stopped at a liquor store, and he pulled up at the exact same time. I'm like, oh, no, I can't wait to see this douche looks like. Blah blah blah. And then he opened the door for me, and I was like, God damn it! All right.
Oh, don't you hate that? Oh,
Yeah,
don't you? Like I've had
Fuck.
several people like flip the script on it. I know you guys in private discussions have said the same thing, but like you're talking to Monty and they're like, oh, what a nice person. And then all of a sudden they'll drop something like Sleepy Joe. And you're like, God damn it. No,
yep.
no, not you too, but it does happen. And you do
It
feel
happens a lot. Yeah.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then you just excuse it. You're like, okay, all right.
That's all
But
right.
sometimes you can excuse it. Like some friends of ours in Fort Collins, I feel like I've told you guys this, but they're Trumpers. But we just tried to not talk about it, which I don't know if that's right or wrong. Probably wrong. But we were hanging out with them last weekend, and they're just cool people. Like we like the same music. We like a lot of the same food, all kinds of stuff, except for that big part. And I was hanging out with Vanny, our friend, and she out of nowhere, we're just like catching up on the couch, and out of nowhere, she's like, yeah, that whole January 6th hoax. And I'm like, I go,
Oh
excuse
damn.
me? And she goes, oh, and then because she tends to do that, that's like her trying to open the door with me.
She
And I
said.
just go, nope, we're not going there. I'm having a good time. I like you. You know where I stand on this because we've gotten into it before. It's like, let's just enjoy the afternoon.
Yeah,
Here's some more wine. Like literally, yeah.
you got to. I
Doesn't
mean,
make it right.
my neighbor is the same way. He's like, we hang out. We even played music together,
Yeah.
and he spends his days listening to talk radio, local talk, conservative radio, and
Nope.
and he just knows that like we don't, we just don't. We can talk about gardening, we can talk about rock and roll music, we can talk about amazing Spider-Man comics, but we cannot talk about the hoax or the jabs or whatever. You can be like, nope,
Nope.
next. You know,
Yeah.
Yep.
it is.
It sucks.
I will say this though, it does seem to have made everyone a little bit more polite, at least in
A little
person.
bit. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
That's true. Yeah.
because when everybody is so divided, as I think COVID was the point where it got really divided, in my personal opinion, because people could sit in their very own echo chamber, in their very own echo house,
Very much so.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
then that's where it just. But to integrate back into society, I read this article where I read that managers are sending. This is how out of it people are in society. They've been sending their employees to etiquette schools or etiquette things, or having an etiquette person come in and do seminars because
No shit.
people have forgotten not to cook fish in a microwave, or just do shit that they don't. They've forgotten that you just don't act that way in public, and so
Wow.
it's a big trend where people are having etiquette specialists come in and do, because they're like, because people are complaining, they're like, well, that
Sure.
asshole, and rightfully so, and I think, but I thought that was really interesting. I mean, because it doesn't
It is.
take long for society to completely crumble on itself.
Well, I would say like an extension of that too has been like I totally know driving got worse everywhere during COVID. Like people just
Oh, yeah, noticeably bad,
and they
yeah.
just lost their shit. And I sort of sensed like this, like I just don't care anymore since like a lot more on the like I'm merging. Like my plan to merge is go as fast as I would like to at the continuous trajectory and allow everyone else to move so we don't have an accident. And like I couldn't remember if I'd mentioned this or not, but have you guys? I noticed an uptick of these a couple months ago, but all of a sudden, all these cars had student driver stickers on them. Have you noticed that? Like, well, they'll have like just like where you don't see them very often, but like you'll see like a car, but it'll be like a normal looking car. Well, I found an article, I think it was New York Times or something, and apparently this is a coming trend because they're scared of aggression on the highways.
Really?
And so they think that they'll put this like student driver, people will be like, oh, I'll back
No
off. Because they're
way.
yeah. Because, I mean, we see them all the time, like here. So keep an eye out.
I do
Actually,
see quite a few
I
of them in Boulder,
now,
especially.
now
Yeah.
that you mention it, yeah, I have because it doesn't even say like what school it is or a phone number to call. It just says
No,
student
no,
driver.
No. Yeah,
no.
that's a
And
good
I've seen
point.
them,
That's a really good
on
point.
like $70,000 Mercedes, and I'm like, no, okay, no. Like that's not unless you're going to like the driving school I would love to attend. But no, I believe I learned in a 1989 Grand Am, I think,
Was it a
furnished.
Grand Am? That's what I learned on.
Yeah, well, I think one of the
Wow.
local dealers in Hayes like used to give like really nice like new cars to their drivers. I don't know if you took it at Hayes High or where you took your driver's ed at, but
Hayes High. Yeah.
those oh yeah, oh yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Still on the
Great
road,
stuff. My fucking
still on the
teacher
road.
kept falling asleep every time somebody would go out on the highway. I was like, are we just like allowing you to take naps like with this nice little
Drive
fun
around.
ride? Yeah, it was scary.
My highlight of my driver's ed that I just remembered was that we were learning to go out on the interstate. And the
Oh
instruction
boy.
they gave me, and I was a very literal, like 14-year-old kid. So they're like, all right, I want you to enter the interstate. So go up the ramp to the interstate. So I proceed to go up the ramp to the interstate and stop because I didn't know. He didn't tell me to continue on the interstate. I just
Sure.
very
Yeah.
figuratively. Anyway, we were watching, this was like the time when they were still like, this is how freaking old I am, but they were still showing like real like films, like 16 millimeter, like driver's ed films. So we still had some, I mean, they weren't like from the 60s. They were like from the 80s. And I just remember like one of them opened up and like one of the kids acting was like, so what do you think the worst thing you could possibly do when, entering the interstate? And the kid goes, well, I would guess probably stop. And the entire room laughed at me because apparently I was known for doing this. So I believe I got like an A on my written and I think like a D- on my actual driving abilities. So it was a little bit of a close call. So, but
hey, that's a solid
That's
C, buddy.
hysterical.
yeah,
There you
absolutely.
go.
It's a solid C.
Pass,
Right.
man. That's all that
Right.
matters.
That's
Our
right. Yeah.
our driver's instructors, we had to take it as a class. I don't know if everyone had to do that or not. Some people say it's elective, but at least around here in Kansas City. But everybody, even the 4.0 students, all were rocking a D because our teacher was so bad at it. So they actually, some parents got so upset that they actually had a meeting, and like,
Of
like,
course.
and and then I don't know what happened. He bumped all our grades up and was just like, whatever, I don't fucking care. Just
Wow.
don't fire me. I don't know. I got to keep teaching women's tennis. That's what I'm in it for. So I don't know. I one thing I thought was really interesting because Beth grew up in Kansas City, and she said as part of their driver's ed teaching, they went down to the plaza. And if you don't know what the plaza is, it's kind of this
Mm.
outdoor shopping area that you see all the time everywhere across the United States now. But this was a big deal. It was built in 1905.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, it's
to
always
keep
been a big deal.
As
Yeah.
it turns out, to keep black people away from the white shops. I just found that out watching a thing. Anyway, but aside from
Great.
that, the reason they made the kids go down there is because there was a 9-way stop on the plaza
Oh,
because they didn't want
that's
to
a
put they didn't want to put
oh my
stoplights in
God.
there. They didn't want to put stoplights in the plaza, so there was a 9-way stop, and they would make the kids go
Wow.
down there and try to figure out what to do or when it was your turn to go or anything
And
like
they were
that.
already pissing their pants anyway. That's fucking brutal,
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly.
honestly, yeah.
Those
Wow.
those instructors had a little taste for danger, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Like, what the hell? Like, I know you got the brake and everything, but that was always the neatest part was the passenger side brake.
Oh, the passenger side brake was great.
Yeah.
Do you ever have that? It happened to me once. He slammed on the brake because I wasn't paying attention. I think I tried to change the radio station or something. I was a good kid, and like he just slammed on the brake, and I was like, I felt, but of course somebody was behind me because we did two at a time.
Sure.
Somebody was in the back seat, and I was like, oh, geez, that's embarrassing. But
mine slammed on the brake after I pulled up into Russell because he had fallen asleep, and then he didn't realize that I had gotten off the interstate because I was like, hey, we're in Russell. Do you want me to keep going to Salina? Like, what the fuck, buddy? And he's like, oh, you went too far. And I'm like, I went to Russell. You told me to keep going to Russell. I'm like,
wow.
Trying to cover his tracks. Yeah, it was so stupid. But I will give props to my dad. He had me driving when I was like 13 out on country roads. So I was like, all right, feel good about this. Yeah.
About 11 or 12 probably. And I learned on a manual, a 1978 GMC pickup, beautiful, beautiful brown pickup truck.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
87 Ford Tempo, manual, and I was so mad. But yeah, my dad. But it worked. I love manuals. Now they don't even make them anymore.
Yeah.
There you go, Rick.
Thanks, Dad.
Paid off. Yeah. Your dads were very lucky to have you. My dad did not feel the same way. He was like, Jess, you have to learn stick. I know we talked about stick last time, but I just didn't want to. I was like, Dad, there's automatics out there. It's going in that direction. I don't need to learn this. He's like, yes, you do. Like every time he tried to fight me on it, I'm like, nope, I don't need to. I'm not going to. Sorry. So
you won that one.
Little brat.
You won that one. Yeah.
I did. Yay.
Only a matter of time. 30 years later.
So you guys are grimacing through your teeth.
I don't know if you guys have noticed. This is the other thing I've seen a lot. Back to the student driver stickers is I've seen a lot of baby on board flags, and I think that's first off, that used to be code. That used to be code for like, let's run this person off the road, and now I think they're putting. It's the same idea. They're like, please don't mess with me. There's a child, and I might be this close to losing my shit. So I might have a gun. This baby won't shut the fuck up. So I don't know. That's probably not what they mean, but that's how I read it.
I bet it's a similar phenomenon, though. I can imagine the same thing. Like maybe they won't. Maybe they'll cut me a break if I've with child or have someone's child. I don't think so, though. I don't think so.
I got a trunk full of embryos in the back. We're in Alabama. Check it out. Don't mess with me.
Embryos on board. Oh, I want that bumper sticker. Amazing.
Oh, I do too.
There's a shirt idea. Embryos on board.
Yeah, that's happening. Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Wonderful.
It's gonna
so
go over
many designs are just like flooding into my brain right now. Oh yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I do like that. Embryos on board.
Oh,
that's great. Yeah. That'd make a great bumper sticker. It really would.
It would.
It really would.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were going to do bumper stickers eventually, but now I feel like we have to. So
I think we should expand into bumper stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? What the heck?
Yeah. Sure. Whatever.
Let's grow our line to bumper stickers. How does that, folks?
We're trying to reach out to all walks. I mean, some people might buy it unironically. We don't even know.
They might. You never know.
Yeah. I will say the one, I guess, good thing about the whole MAGA is bumper stickers kind of made a comeback a little bit.
They did.
Like
that's true.
Like people just started putting shit on their car that 15 years ago probably wouldn't have.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, talk amongst yourselves. Let's talk about Tyson. What he's doing, where he's going. I think it's cat related. I'm guessing
it's very cat related. Yep, he's opening something.
It's a cat dwelling.
Is that wait? Is that where the cat box is at, or is it those two doors?
I don't know.
I never remember. There's so much stuff in that room.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he's coming back. He's like, I got to show this record.
He's got a show and Oh, I think it's.
Oh.
Oh.
Are you going to do your taxes while you're
Yep,
on the
we're gonna
show? What?
we're gonna review our taxes. So when I stopped at a place, it was a gas station or something in Missouri, and I was like blown away by these stickers. I bought them. I don't know why I bought them because I'm never gonna put them on anything. But I was like, what is
Oh,
going
there's
on?
some fabulous gas station stickers out there.
I'm gonna read this. We used to have Ronald Reagan, Johnny Cash, and Bob Hope. Now we have Obama, no cash, and no hope. And then here's another
Guys,
one.
will you send me a picture of that, please?
Absolutely. Here's another one. It's got a pile of money with some eyeballs on it, and it says this.
Oh.
This is the money you could have saved if you hadn't voted for Obama. Let's see what else.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a couple more in here somewhere.
Are those real googly
I
eyes?
like the googly eyes on that. That's cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is cute. Yeah.
You should be while you're taunting other people, you should be a little carefree about it.
A little, yeah, fun with it. Yeah.
I have another
Yeah, why
one.
not?
I can't find it. Screw it. Anyway. Hey, well, that $6 paid off eventually 10 years later. All right, let's go. That was a
Worth it.
long.
Totally
Yep,
worth
that
it.
was,
How's
that
it?
was, that was a long con right there on that joke.
You
Uh,
knew right where those were too. Like you were
I
like,
did.
Yeah, you
ooh,
did. I'm
yeah,
impressed. Yeah.
yeah.
I do
I
know
like
that.
He's
that.
like, I know. I
I,
know.
I know that file cabinet backwards and forwards. I do. So one of my
It's like
hobbies
one of
is to
these
read.
days we're going to be talking about stickers and bam.
Bam. Ooh.
uh, so, yeah, do you want to talk about the Alabama thing? That's so weird.
All right, do we want to get into headlines?
I don't have anything else.
We could segue this topic into headlines, I guess, for like
All
a
right.
particular. I didn't have unless one of you had like a specific
Oh,
embryo
an
headline or
embryo
pun.
related story. Uh,
Not really.
I I will say that an Amazon truck just pulled into my driveway for some reason, and it is one of your cars,
Is it a Rivian?
Rivian, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know why they did, but they pissed off the dogs. Anyway, well,
Oh,
yeah, well, they
God
hate
damn it.
Rivians. Our dogs hate the Rivians.
They
I don't
hate
know.
electric vehicles.
I don't like it. They're too
Get out
quiet.
of here with your new age bullshit.
Ah,
All right, on that note, here we go.
boom.
Of the week.
Yeah, so this IVF thing in Alabama. So we don't have cable, right? So we have these little channels on Roku called NBC Now or ABC Now, and
Mhm.
it's like CNN or whatever, but it's just like they'll talk about politics for a second, and they go over actual news, which is nice actually. It's a nice change. Um,
Right.
and you can watch it for an hour, and it'll do the exact same story as the next hour. You don't have to watch it all day. You can just watch it for an hour and catch everything. But anyway, so I've been following the story a little bit about the Alabama court case and how people are like, "What am I supposed to?" This woman was interviewed, and she's like, "Oh, maybe we should explain this. They ruled that embryos are living children. So if you destroy an embryo, that is murder. Um, but a lot of embryos have genetic defects, so they get rid of those, so the mother will have a healthy child." Anyway, so
Now, this was the Supreme Court, right? This was like I didn't know the history of this. This is not like a crazy Alabama legislative action. This was their goddamn Supreme Court who
Supreme
did
Court,
this,
yeah.
which is
yeah,
just terrifying. But
yeah, and and somebody's like, "Well, you think it'll go to the Supreme Court?" And they're like, "No, the Supreme Court said, fuck you, you guys figure it out yourselves." And now we're in this mess. But I saw
yeah,
this one lady. She made me laugh for two reasons. One, she goes, "I am so filled with rage, I can't even explain it." And she said it in that I mean, like as dull as that. But then she said something that I was like, she's like, "Do I have to move to a different state to have a baby?" And I was like, that's a really good point. I guess that this
Yeah.
and at press time, that's what I'm calling whenever this is at press time. Uh, the two biggest
like that.
hospitals in Alabama have halted.
Yep.
But
Yeah, the
But they
second
don't.
one, I think it was today or yesterday, they announced that they're out of the business because they don't know what to do with this crazy bullshit. And so, yeah,
Oh
so
my god.
I don't know. It's not like you can just grab your
Ugh.
embryo. You can grab your embryos and run. I think they have to be on ice
right,
or something
right.
at least.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing all the children, like, you probably can't, like, go across state lines with an embryo now, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's always something I've had on my bucket list, but that's although
Well,
if I was looking for embryos, pretty sure I wouldn't start in Alabama. Just saying.
Same here.
Just
Just
saying.
saying.
So they're
Yeah.
pretty low quality embryos to begin with.
your
But
aftermarket on those embryos, those Alabama embryos, pretty low.
it's
Okay.
not. Yeah, it's. I think
A
it
little bit.
corresponds directly to the real estate market. Actually,
That's,
the
that's
the,
it.
the inherent value of the embryo.
Yeah, yeah,
Embryos are fucking crazy in San Francisco right now.
they
Just
are. But they got some real
crazy.
drive-by cutie embryos in San Francisco, though. You can't deny it.
Bye, cutie.
Uh, They they are ready to sell. The foundation's good. There's no bugs in there. It's great.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
man,
yeah.
Primo.
So
sorry,
yeah,
Oh
Kirby.
I don't
boy.
know.
Uh,
So does that mean like because they have said before? I know that like in other batshit legislation, they've said that like they were. I think Indiana was one of these that tried to do this. May even be in the process of doing it now, but where you could claim your embryo as an independent as a
oh,
dependent.
dependent. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
like
that. Yeah,
or so
it was
for
in
your tax
Texas.
purposes. So basically, all you have to do is like just get an embryo, keep it on ice, don't destroy it, tax break. I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah. No, it'd be like.
eh,
I mean,
Fucking hilarious.
It couldn't be much harder than growing sea monkeys, right? Keeping an embryo alive.
I think it's exactly the same
Is it
process.
like that? Yeah.
I think you pour in the bag and you add water and you wait 15 days and then you're
And then
disappointed. That's generally how the
that's what it's like to have a baby, really.
did you ever do
almost,
like
almost exactly.
That's what my parents said, at least.
Hey-o.
Ew.
Hey.
Sea monkeys are fun though.
They are
I
fun.
should do that again. They are they are disappointing. Not to be a spoiler alert, but they look nothing like they do in the box.
No,
Which
they look.
thank God,
No,
because
they
that would
do
be
not.
goddamn
Yeah.
terrifying. That would be
False
terrifying.
advertising.
It would be
It was a
terrifying.
little bit false advertising, yeah. But what are you gonna
Yeah.
do? Sue the comic book? Yeah, like
It's gonna yeah it's gonna come as no surprise to you that in the tagging wing I have a starter kit sea monkeys obviously, but I was reading because I was like I wonder if these are any good. Those things will lay dormant for like 100 years. Those
yeah,
little
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Really?
That's why they sold them because they could send them through the mail and they could store them in warehouses.
Wow.
So
Yeah, that's cool.
they're like what do
yeah.
they call those little bear looking microbes that can live in space and you know
Oh,
what I'm talking
What
about?
are those?
yeah. I forgot what those are called.
Me too. Damn it. Anyway,
Like
they're
Phone
like
a
something.
friend. Phone
It's
a
like an
wife.
animal. It isn't like an animal name, but it's like something animal name.
yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
yeah, it's
Like
some kind
a
of bear something. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, something like that. I don't know. We should briefly.
again, you can see how much prep work we do for the show. I don't know if you're
Right.
paying attention. Uh,
Lots. Right
lot-
before the show. At least 10 to 15 minutes. Literally, Smith
easy.
and I before the show. We weren't even talking. We're just like going through our headlines.
uh, uh,
Sorry, secrets revealed. Yeah.
Oh,
so
it's known as a tardigrade. Tardigrade.
tardigrade. Yeah, that's it.
Tardigrade. Yeah.
Hey, look
Hey,
at
Yeah.
that producer. Yours is
Yeah.
way
hey.
better than mine.
Yeah.
I have one headline, but let's talk about the sneakers first. Or do you want to? I'll let you talk about the sneakers since you've got the
No, you
stuff
can
to
have
show.
the sneakers. You take the sneakers. The sneakers are all you.
Those $400
Yeah.
I have a follow up
magic slippers.
to the sneaker story. So I have an embellishment on the story. So
So I think it was on Saturday. Trump appeared in his busy schedule. Remember, he can't run for president. He's in court every day, but he managed to make it to SneakerCon, where he was booed by half the crowd. So that was great.
That
Uh,
was great.
where he introduced two models of Trump speakers. They're very good. He's had some of the best people work on them. He's some of the best guys I know, design these
right.
sneakers. And there's two versions. There's the regular $200 version, which looks like a sneaker, It's red, white, and blue, if I remember correctly. And then I think there's a T on it, if I remember. And then
Yes.
there's the gold lame one that looks like something a drunk, you know, Liberace might buy on a bender. Um, and it is basically like it's the same shoe, but it's got gold lame all over it and a gold tee. It could not be more gay friendly if it had tried. I mean, I don't know if he's thinking about that at all, but anyway, it's anyway. So I text you guys. You guys know this, but I'll tell everybody else just to see if I should start a GoFundMe to buy a pair of these shoes for me for the tacky
I think
wing.
you should. Jonas immediately was like, he is not going to do that. He was like concerned.
People, like if you go on Facebook and then it's like somebody's birthday and they're like, yeah, for my birthday, why don't you contribute, $200 to save the whales or whatever. And I've never,
Uh-huh.
maybe my birthday this year, maybe I'll be like, yeah, maybe you could.
Tyson, please, for the love of God,
I
do it.
I do.
I can't wait.
I think if you tell your story and like that you are this patriot that just he can't fly without his wings.
That's right.
And those
Yeah.
shoes are your wings, my friend, and your patriotism. I can it's sad. It really is a shame. So I would kick in, $25.
You know what? I just need what? Just a few more. Yeah, at that rate, holy moly.
A few
Yeah, just a
more.
few
Yeah.
more.
I'll throw in 25. No big
Yeah.
deal. Yeah, get it going.
Yeah. Okay.
Now
all right.
I do have some unfortunate news.
Oh no.
So as soon as because I am on the Trump mailing list, so I was
that's right. Yes.
Still as going several years now as a fuck you, first and last. Still every day, hey fuck, or
Mr. U.
and Mr. U, Mr. U. But I clicked on the thing and I was like, because like he sent out that I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, it was like $399 and it was sold out like almost instantly. Now the T edition, which I believe is for the paltry sum of $199 is also available. So you might still be able to score a pair. I'm guessing those are unlimited editions.
You're probably right. Yeah.
Where but I don't know that that's representative of your true patriotism, as I said. So we need to scour eBay. You could paint them gold, but that would be, I don't know. Trump might like to look down on you if you did.
A little bit.
Might get sued.
Might
get sued.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't put him out, right? He just licensed his name to the sneaker company.
Oh, so. I'm sure he did. Yeah,
that's probably what he did.
I hope he makes 5% for every pair of shoes that's sold. That'd be great. It's not. I mean, it's great. It's not great. He's getting any money.
He's got bills to pay.
He does.
Lots of bills to pay.
He does.
He's got a lot of bills to pay. Yeah, like 400 million. Yeah, I think they said his the interest alone is $80,000 a day until he
people
probably is going to.
Were outside Trump Tower today with signs that said "for sale."
Oh, what's the most insulting thing?
God bless it.
What could they turn Trump Tower into that would just be the most insulting nod to the man?
Ooh, that's
Ooh, I would say an immigrant shelter.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
A giant hostel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for transgender teens. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like this.
She said dreams tonight.
What's her name? She said she would, if he doesn't pay up, that's where they're going next. Is sort of recovering. They're taking the building. So yeah. So
yeah. I can't wait. Oh, please.
Because of his deal with something, I think Beth was telling me, he has to put a banknote down or something. He has to pony up some cash even before the repeal process because he was convicted. So he's gonna have to do something, or they're gonna start coming for his shit. Like
Yes.
And you can say like I was kind of curious at how much, because his idiot donors will continue to give him money. They just,
of course they will.
Special kind of people they are. His haul in January was 24 million, which that's a lot, but not when you're talking. And they're also spending way more cash than they have. So it's going to be really interesting to see how long he can. Like the money thing is going to be a sort of an interesting thing to watch. I think we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. It's and nobody. So and the way he can't borrow the money from any bank that has an office or is somehow related to in New York, which is New York City, which is like every bank I think in the free
All of
Yeah,
world.
them.
yeah, right. And he
Somehow,
Yeah.
can't loan, can't
Kind of
loan money
screwed
from
there.
them. Can't like, yeah. So yeah, yeah. So if
I
they
don't
have
know.
operations in New York, they're not eligible. So those famous financial institutions. Maybe Alabama is the source for everything these days.
Maybe,
Yes, maybe we'll find the money in Alabama somehow.
maybe.
Somehow, some way. Yeah.
Somehow. Yeah. So anyway,
We can start an embryo hostel in New York. Okay, so
Amazing.
this
fits in your pocket.
it does. That is a side hustle.
That is a side hustle.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
I
get them out of
love
the
it.
state. Get them out of the state.
This is this headline is the only headline I have personally made. I believe made Dawson ill. It's from HuffPost.
It
Uh,
did.
uh,
God damn it.
it's under the category weird news, which I think is an understatement. Doctors remove 150 live bugs from Florida man's nose. So there
The
you
picture is, yeah, worth a
hor-
thousand words.
horrifying. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's I don't really want to get into this, but it hits all this. It hits all the high notes. It's bugs in a body. Uh, he had to go to a doctor to do it because he couldn't figure out that there was one bug in his nose, and it was also in Florida. So yeah,
Yeah.
dozens
It's the
and dozens
cherry on top.
dozens and dozens of larvae were reportedly feeding on the man's nose and sinus cavity, some as big as the end of a pinky. How
How do
what
you not feel that?
how do you not go to the doctor immediately? I mean, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Um, oh yeah, and this is the first paragraph, which just made me laugh. A Florida man is breathing easier now that 150 live bugs have been removed from his nose. Yep.
Oh, God.
Who wrote this? David Moy. Your fucking Pulitzer's in the mail. Congratulations. He just, oddly enough, he said the unidentified patient went to the hospital earlier this month after noticing that his whole face felt like it was on fire.
What in the actual fuck?
All
Right.
Seriously.
okay, here. Although the man first started experiencing symptoms in October, it wasn't
Oh,
until recently that they became serious. Quote, over a couple hours, my face just started swelling. My lips swelled. I could hardly talk. I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom without my nose starting to bleed. Yeah, okay. All right. Some people deserve what they get.
yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
And that is literally the end of my headlines.
Hey,
Thank
very nice.
God. Oh, God.
Very nice.
Face full of larvae. All right.
You know,
Smith?
sorry, I'm just
Oh, go
trying to
ahead,
think.
Tyson.
He's October, so he didn't. Nobody mentioned it at Halloween or Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's, unless he just doesn't talk to people, which is possible. Just a
It
timeline.
is possible.
It
It
is
is
possible.
possible. Okay, sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope he's doing better. That's
Yeah,
Same here.
me too.
Same here.
So kudos to you, sir. Just
Way to live your
nothing,
life.
That's
nothing
right.
all that great, but here's some smattering of what I was able to locate 12 minutes before the show started. Big AT&T outage today. Were any of
Oh,
you guys affected
yes.
by this? Yeah. So
No.
looks like there was. I was not either. I was
I
not
wasn't.
either. So
Not my
but
carrier.
apparently a lot of people were, and people lost their collective shit. And this is a little bit of an exaggeration, but I'm going to go with it. So this is from the Daily Star. AT&T down with iPhone stuck in SOS mode as people say world is ending. So people got a little hyperbolic. They had like the sort of little quotes they got from people. One user wrote, "Got the SOS mode and thought the world was ending." Another said, "Anyone else experiencing these SOS messages at AT&T? Is the world ending?" A third asked, "Okay, conspiracy theorist and smart people who know more than me, what is behind the cell carrier outage overnight?" Then another said, "We pay too much motherfucking money not to have no motherfucking service for hours at a time, AT&T." Wrote one disgruntled customer. Oh, that was pretty good.
That's great. That's a keeper.
But yeah, this is the big. I mean, this is probably one of the bigger outages, and it will be interesting to see what actually happened, or if we actually find out what happened. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Lots of just people kind of saying online that this. And who the hell knows what if they're actually know what they're talking about or not, that this couldn't have been like a simple outage, like it's not designed to let this happen or something. So
right.
I guess we'll find out. But guess what? They've been back online since early afternoon, so the world is not ending yet.
Everything's okay for now.
Okay.
Do you imagine society if our phones just stopped working for a week? I mean, how far would we devolve as people?
Jesus, I don't even want to. I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't know.
I'd like to think we'd all get into gardening and shit, but I don't think that's what would happen.
Reading books again.
Yeah. Even that would be strange. I don't know. Like no phones plus like no internet would be just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if people could deal with that shit, because we'd be like, I want to learn how to garden. And be like, fuck, how do I learn how to garden? Like, there's no way we couldn't do it.
How do I settle this argument with my wife?
Exactly. Right. You just have to wait and find out like we used to.
That's right.
Do you remember the name of that guy? Oh no. And then somebody 4 months later, you'd get a phone call. I figured it out. It doesn't happen anymore. I miss that. I
miss going to the library to find out things.
I was just going to say, they start having bouncers at the library. We're at max capacity. You got to go.
How do you make this text bigger in this? What is this called again? A book? Shit. It's too hard to read.
It's like opening it up like this, shaking it out.
Give me my answers.
Should be like putting my place on like as a library marketing person. I just be like, books. There's never any ads. Books. There's never any ads. Like, what is this thing? Just keep reading the whole thing. No ads. So, God, if I got to design those inspirational posters they used to put, like, remember those read posters?
Yes.
Which would have like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like reading a book, or like Michael J. Fox. Yeah, I have looked so hard to I want those. Like, I love those posters. Like, I would love.
Have you not found any on eBay?
I haven't. No, it's been out. To be fair, it's been a while since I've looked, but I need to look again.
I have one.
Tyson, do you have one?
I have.
You really?
It's Lisa, and the Cult Jam. It's Lisa.
Damn.
It's her. It's it's. I used to have it right where my giant Gila monster thing was, and I know exactly where it is. So if you can't find one, Matt, Merry Christmas. I'll give it to you for Christmas.
Oh, no way! There you go.
Wow. Thank you. That will start my. That's awesome. I always wanted one of those because it's just it's a nice thing.
And here's the cherry on top. It's sponsored by Coors beer.
That's hilarious. That's kind of perfect, actually.
Well, we kind of took our money where we could get it from in the 80s, I guess. That's just like, that's a good message.
I had it hanging up, and we were having a scrum one day, and somebody was like, "Who's that?" And a guy in the scrum, he goes, "That's Lisa from the Cult Jam." I'm like, "Yeah, it is. How did you know that?" And he was like, "She was at a music land at the mall where I used to go to, and she was signing cassettes." And I'm like,
"Whoa,
what is happening here?" Like, this is so, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's really cool.
Weird. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. We'll just kind of bust through the remainder of these. So CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Committee, I think, has just been this thing that's been around for now. Anybody, basically, they held it this spring, and nobody fucking went, which is hilarious. So this is like where like all the big hits, like DeSantis and Trump, but it's got progressively more right and Trumpy since it's happened. Matt Schlepp is the guy who allegedly molested several campaign or staffers in this organization. He was accused a few months ago. Anyway, basically nobody showed up, and there's a bunch of pictures. The headline was just like, "What an embarrassment!" Left and right skewer QPAC and CPAC, sorry, and there's just a bunch of pictures with empty chairs, which is good. They also do one They also do one in Orlando every year.
Yeah. That's not the one with the brothers, right? The
Koch brothers.
The Koch brothers. It's not.
I don't know if I don't think so. I can't remember who. who actually founded CPAC. But anyway, it's a terrible organization and sounds like it's going away. So great. This was a tie back to the sneaker. I'm not going to get into the article, mostly because I haven't read it. But Fox News pundit insists Trump sneakers will win him black votes.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
See how that works out.
The video of him explaining it is just fucking cringeworthy. It's bad.
Yeah, I didn't even.
Like I will not repeat anything that he said.
You should probably.
It's fucking terrible.
Then a couple more serious ones. We'll go to this one. So I don't know if you guys saw this story. I don't know a whole lot of details about it. So basically, the Republicans have had this informant who's been giving them dirt on Joe Biden and how he, stole money and did all this nasty, Joe Biden stuff. The Biden crime family, as they like to refer to them. And basically he was arrested last week. And basically he sounds like he made all of it up, shockingly enough.
Amazing.
Yes. And so this was actually just on HuffPost this evening. It said DOJ warned Republicans about publicizing unverified report from FBI agent. So the Department of Justice basically went to them and said, hey, this guy's full of shit. And of course they just went with it anyway. So fuck you, Jim Jordan. Fuck you. I really dislike that man.
Same.
And lastly, and this one, more serious note, but obviously, I live in Indiana now, have for about a decade, and John Mellencamp is probably the most favored. He's the son of the state.
Yeah, he's the son.
Had to have a son. He's the son of the state. And he had an article. This was in Rolling Stone a couple days ago, and says John Mellencamp on how to end gun violence. Show America the carnage. I was curious what you guys thought about this, because I think this is absolutely correct, is that our media, and I'm not one of these, people that just won't pay attention to anything in MSM. Like, the media has its problems, but it also is an incredibly valuable resource that is going away very quickly. But it is a disservice, especially just thinking about the local Kansas City shooting. I think, at least in my opinion, people need to see that violence, because unless they see it, it's not clicking for them. It's just something they can put out of their mind. One thing this kind of reminded me of is I remember during the second Iraq war, was that Operation Freedom? Was that Operation Freedom? Iraqi Freedom? I think that was Operation Freedom.
Yeah.
There are so many hits, it's hard to remember. But I think
there are a lot of hits.
But I remember when I was in London for several months out of the year for a couple of years while that was going on. And I just remember the stark contrast between how their coverage of that news was versus in the United States, where they were showing, like, the United States would show the little guided missile going down, and they were showing what happened after the missile hit, and it changed my perspective almost instantly about what was happening. And it is, and so I get that we don't want to. It's a tough call because you don't want to make it gratuitous for the sake of their kids, especially. But I also think, like, when you keep these shootings out of the news, like, it's a disservice to what's actually, it just allows people to stick their head in the sand and be like, okay, and it's like, well, if you look at the numbers, when they add up at the end of the year, they're really statistically insignificant, which basically the GOP will tell you is that's their view on gun violence is, well, it's really way less than the kids who were killed in car crashes. So it's not a big deal. So anyway, good on you, John Mellencamp. Still fighting the good fight.
You've had this stance for a while, Smith, though. I've heard you rant about this.
I've heard you talk about that too. Yeah.
And you're right.
Yeah,
I agree.
Same.
Yeah. And again, it's ugly. And will they ever do it? No. But
they'll never do it.
That's the media has sanitized itself in so many ways.
Yeah. But I've got a little Reuters app, and I watch that a little bit every day, and they show stuff, because Reuters is based out of Europe. And,
right.
The thing that I saw today that was horrifying were all the little babies that were starving and dying in the hospitals over in Gaza, and I was just like, holy shit, that's horrifying. But we don't see any of that stuff. They talk about it, Now we're they will show us the test tubes with the embryos and
that's true.
They'll show us that. That's
no problem there. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem there. So anyway, that's just sad. But anyway, sorry to hit on a downer. Hoping you got something real happy and or funny, Dawson.
Oh, I've got a funny.
Up a notch.
They're both kind of funny. both of them are from, well, two of them are from Kansas news, and then
Wow.
the last one is Kanye news. So giddy up. So this first one is something from one of our biggest fans, Anna Towns. She is a part of a local group in Hayes, America called Us for You. And basically, like, it's a Christian group and they're all about just inclusivity, especially with the LGBTQIA plus community. They're great what they do. Total service to that community of Hayes, America. However, this, what was it, this last week Anna texted me and she's like, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the glitter and ash Wednesday event that we've been holding for the last 4 years went viral. The, what did she say, the libs of TikTok posted about it on the socials, and it blew up from there to the point where Fort Hayes actually had to put out a press release because people were getting fucking pissed. Like, some of the messages, you guys have to read some of the comments. They are like right wing crazy bullshit. Like, Jesus wouldn't stand for this, and like all kinds of stuff. That part of this story is hilarious. Like, fuck you guys. Like, they're doing a good thing. Like, assholes. Anyway, there's lots of stuff. Anna is actually going to send me the Google Doc, which is full of all of the articles that have come
excellent.
out from this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so I'll send it to you
awesome.
guys. But I was like, good on you, girl. Like, keep fucking fighting the good fight.
Absolutely. In fact, I read that in the Hayes Post. There was an article in the Hayes Post a few days ago that, and I thought that was like, is that Dawson's Anna? It's like, I bet that's Dawson's Anna. So that's good.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I think
that's
you could
awesome.
make. I think you could make, and good on Anna, by the way. But I think you could make a good argument that Jesus would be down for glitter because most of his shit was like magic tricks anyway. So like I could imagine him coming out of the cave alive and throwing some glitter in the air, or walking on water and throwing some glitter around. I mean, it just. I can't see why they would be upset about that.
Actually, that's what the Bible looked like until those damn dirty ass Protestants got a hold of it. I think that's true. I don't know, but I think that's true.
Gutter Catholics.
I'd go with that. Gutter Catholics. Oh man, we gotta make t-shirts. Well,
no, those are
Western Kansas. We can't make those t-shirts.
Those are Lutherans. Lutherans are gutter Catholics.
Luther.
Yeah, they are. They are. I grew up as a Lutheran. It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. Yep.
We mock
proud to be. Proud to be.
We mock your 7 sacraments with our 2.
Yeah. With our 2. Oh, good stuff. Christianity.
Like beef jerky. It was like beef. Is there a religion where beef jerky is a sacrifice? I don't know. Seems like that'd be the right one for me. Like phase 3, the jerky.
Phase 3, the jerky.
And on the 12th, he removed the jerky from the dehydrator. And it was good.
Is there Jesus jerky out there? Because if not, I feel like there's another way we can make some money. Okay.
We could like import like salt from like Israel or something, and like this.
Or just say we did to make it.
Body of Christ, jerk for you. Oh man, that's our t-shirt.
That's our t-shirt.
Do this in remembrance of his beef. No. Okay.
Sorry, Anna.
Sorry, Anna. She loves it. She's cool. She's cool with us assholes. All right. Moving on to actually another Hayes Post article. Smith, I don't know if you saw this. Tice, I don't know if you saw this either. Kansas woman accused of lighting man's pants on fire.
I missed that one.
Salina police officers responded to an arson-related dispute at a local motel, not hotel, earlier this week after receiving a call from a man whose pants were set on fire. This happened about 10 p.m. on February 15th in Salina, Kansas. Happened to a 48-year-old male victim. The officers learned that a 38-year-old Salina woman identified as Kelsey Hathaway had set fire to the victim's jeans shortly before the officers arrived. And then, like, one of the officers was quoted as, "We think she used a lighter, and his pants were on fire for about 30 seconds." God
Uh-uh.
bless America, everybody.
Keeping those,
Yeah.
Especially Kansas.
keeping those
Yeah.
police on their toes.
Always.
Salina's always had like the more Floridian quality stories,
Yeah.
Very
like
much. Very much
Topeka
so.
always just has the sad violence,
Yeah.
but like
It's a
Salina
bummer.
really
Yeah.
has like their creativity is vast, and so I
It's very
appreciated this came
nice.
out.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
wonder how she was he passed out? Like I have a lot of questions about
Yeah.
how
I got a
the
lot of
pants.
questions too.
And
The Hayes Post article needs a follow-up big time
I
because
was a
it's very short.
little
Yeah.
disappointed by the level of dive they took on this. So maybe there'll be a follow up. Give them the benefit of the doubt.
but did he call the police before she said it? Because the article said, if I remember correctly, they arrived shortly after his pants had been set on fire. Had he already called them? And she was like, "Don't call the police, or I'm gonna set your pants on fire." And he
It must have
did.
been something like that because then when
Yeah.
they got there, they assessed that his pants were on fire for maybe 30 seconds. So
Maybe he said, she was like, "Don't call the police," and he's like, "I'm not calling the police," and he did, and she said, "Liar, liar."
pants on fire.
I
Come
think
on,
that's what happened.
where's the joke?
That's the best I
Weird
got.
delay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here for it.
That's a real weird.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. That's that uncertainty of whether it's funny or not.
I know. I was like, why is
Oh.
there a delay? This is weird. Another problem for
weird.
Zencaster. Oh, they're gonna be so happy to hear from me again. All right, this is my last one. Kanye West slams Taylor Swift fans plotting to ruin the Vultures 1 debut, stating, "I've been helpful to her career." It's just more Kanye bullshit. Like, fucking, I guess he just blasted all of these Swifties because, and then they put on Twitter that there was a Swifty emergency on X. And it was like what was it? It was read from a now private account, talking about Beyonce's new single, Texas Hold'em, which was challenging Kanye West's #1 debut or whatever the hell. So I don't know. It was just like a whole back and forth thing. Kanye got involved. He later posted a screenshot of the tweet from his Instagram, slamming one of the Swifties. And he said something like, "When I said I'm the new Jesus, bitch, I wasn't even thinking about Taylor Swift." And then he just goes on this like crazy tear about Taylor Swift, how he's helped her, how he's going to bring down the album, like all this stuff. He's just a fucking nut. So if you want to go down that rabbit hole, some of it's funny, some of it is just like, dude, start taking some drugs. Like, you need to just enough is enough.
A sick man.
Where are your handlers? Yeah. Like, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, his new album is so bad that Pitchfork gave it a 5.8. I mean, that's bad. Like,
that
if Pitchfork
bad.
gave it a 5.8, holy shit. They
Yeah.
absolutely love that.
Wow.
But yeah, 5.8 for Kanye.
He should just maybe stick to his garbage bag clothing line, you know?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it is sketchy.
It is.
Ugh,
See if it catches on. Maybe he will. If there is one man that might embrace the Trump sneakers, it could potentially be Kanye. It would not surprise me terribly. He worked something out with Donald.
I would love to see Kanye in them and like introducing Trump, as the Republican nominee, and then he does a moonwalk in the fucking Trump sneakers off stage.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty dope.
I'd watch that.
I would watch that. Yeah.
Make it my
and then Trump comes out there and does his jack off dance, like, yeah.
I forgot about that. That's a classic.
That is a classic. He does it well.
Don't believe it. Yeah.
Pump it. Yeah.
Pump it.
Pump it up. Not just pump it. Pump it up. Dolt.
Dumbass.
President Trump.
Oh, hope it doesn't happen again. Oh, shall we do some
Two.
plugs?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
You, the ice cream manufacturer. You, the frozen food distributor. And you, the food retailer. Stand today in the midst of a selling revolution. For today, you're in a merchandising era of self-service, where display and accessibility are the key to successful merchandising. Yes, today's problem is merchandising. To sell in high volume for high profits, frozen products are impulse items. And impulse buying is primarily an emotional decision.
Okay, so we watched all of this sitcom on Hulu, originally from ABC, called Not Dead Yet. I'm gonna give it a soft plug. It's enjoyable enough. It's relatively funny. It's heartfelt. It's no Arrested Development, but soft plug. If you want to watch something that's very
Okay.
easy to watch,
What's it
and
on?
it's on Hulu, but it's on new episodes are on ABC. So
Okay.
it will get canceled for sure it's
It will be canceled.
it's too smart.
This is the best soft plug ever.
It's too smart for the CBS crowd,
Uh-huh.
but it's too dull for the Fox crowd. And I don't know if you guys
Oh,
have
okay.
noticed this.
Interesting.
ABC, with a few exceptions that I pay attention to this dumb stuff. ABC is terrible at creating sitcoms. They've had a couple over the last few years. They've had Modern Family. That one was really good. I
That
mean,
one was good.
I didn't particularly watch it, but I know that it did
I didn't
well.
either, but
The
yeah.
Goldbergs, which eventually went to a different network, um, and then I can't think of another one. But
That's been like true forever though, if I'm remembering correctly. Back in like the heyday of sitcoms, like 80s and 90s, like NBC and ABC run I'm hard pressed to think of what CBS had. I mean, I'm sure they had stuff, but it
Yeah.
always seemed like those were the two
yeah, like NBC has a long history, or at least it used to, of pretty good sitcoms, 30-minute sitcoms. You know, you had this weird bubble of like Perfect Strangers from ABC in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And then CBS, you had Murphy Brown, which I liked, and
That's true. Yeah.
I
I
love
can't
Murphy
really
Brown.
think of any other sitcom that I actually watched on CBS. But they own the market now. But anyway, and they still, you know what? I'm not getting into this. You guys can check out my lecture, my TED talk on the difference between ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox sitcoms over the last 30 years. It's fascinating. But anyway,
Now,
uh,
what was
I
the
would
name of the
love to see
soft
that TED Talk.
the gently plugged show? What was
not
the name of
not
that?
dead yet. It's
Not
got a
dead yet.
good it's got a good premise. It allows for excellent guest stars. I got this, and they added another. This is always a good sign. In the second season, they added a new lead character into the story, who
Wow.
happens to
Okay.
who happens to be Brad Garrett of
Oh.
and
Okay.
so
Uh
they're
yeah.
they're leaning into it, but it's always a bad sign when they add a second character, a new character in the second season. Usually means
Yeah.
that they really want it to work, but it's just not firing. Anyway,
Right.
I've watched 2 episodes with him in it. It's not bad. Cast is really good. It's just gonna get canceled. I just know it. Anyway,
Okay.
um, but what I really and here's the other thing. This is really kind of sad, but uh, I just found out that Tokyo Police Club are retiring, and
No.
their final shows are, I think, that next
No.
month. The three in Toronto, and they're all sold out already. I think.
Have you guys
Uh,
seen them in concert
I,
yet?
I have never seen them.
I did never
I
did
saw
either.
them at Terminal 5 in New York and it was fucking awesome.
I'm sure it was.
God damn it.
Uh,
Ugh.
Yeah. So anyway,
R.I.P. That bums me out.
you might.
were they on hiatus for a while? Or am I
No,
thinking of somebody else? No.
they've always just kind of been doing stuff. But I went to their website because this was the last record of theirs that I didn't have, and they're not even selling merch anymore. They're just like,
They're
here's
not.
something.
Wow.
Wow.
It's done. So
Bummer.
if you want some of that stuff, I'd buy it up. Well, it's buy
Yeah, good
used
idea.
copies and stuff. Anyway, but
Yeah.
I can honestly say with the exception of their first record, which just wasn't quite polished. I've enjoyed all of their output, and it's developed over time. But it's definitely Tokyo's Police Club. If you're not familiar with them, go to Spotify Radio and type that in, and then it'll pick you out some songs that you like,
Yeah.
that you should like. But what I really want to talk today about, and I may talk too long about this, so feel free to cut me off, play the noise, is a movie that I watched yesterday, a made-for-TV movie from 1978 called Devil Dog: The Hound from Hell. So I missed the first 15 minutes, but this is the story of a great, terrible movie. So when I turned it on, a woman, you're pretty much stereotypical Hispanic housekeeper. She's like, Mr. Smith, I ask you, please get rid of this puppy. He has evil inside him, and he's like, the puppy, and she's like, yeah, and he's like, okay, all right, whatever. So his family leave, and she goes into her room and she lights a bunch of candles,
Oh
religious
God.
candles, and then she looks out in the other room, and there is the most adorable German Shepherd puppy sitting in a box. And then it cuts to the box. It cuts back to her. It cuts back to the box. Now he's out of the box and just standing in front of the box. He's literally this big. He's tiny. He's like 10 weeks old. And then it cuts to her, and her robe is on fire. Then the dog with its mind closes the door and kills the woman. Dies from either burning up or smoke inhalation. I don't know. Anyway, cut forward to the following new year, where it's been a year and the dog Lucky is now a full grown German Shepherd. And uh, he is somehow corrupting the children in the family. They're acting strange. They're running for class president, but they're
Yes.
framing other
Yes.
people. And if you're, how do I? Okay, so this is the dad was working on his. Uh, he was out front and he was working on his lawnmower, and it wouldn't turn. And he's about to quit, and his family goes inside, and he looks up, and there's the dog Lucky, and literally the dog just sits there and does nothing. I mean, if you're scared of a
It
dog
didn't
just
even
sitting,
put like a paw on him to
no,
push
no,
him into the
it it
lawnmower.
it,
Okay.
it just sits there like a fucking dog. Like, it's not scary at all. It's fucking hilarious. I mean, and they like close in on its eyes. There's nothing nefarious about this dog. But then the lawnmower starts to work, and somehow the dog is making the dad put his hand into the lawnmower, and then he pulls it
Some
away,
telepathy action.
and then
Yeah.
the dog looks at him and it's like, fuck you, bitch, and goes inside. Anyway, eventually this dog, through a long series of shots where he just sits there and looks at people. There's a scene where the mother hasn't been. He can influence the family and he can take over their feelings, and corrupt people. And it's one of
I
those scenes
found the
where,
poster for it. Did you
yes,
see that?
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Oh, and
I'll post it.
yes,
It's so fucking
uh,
funny.
Is it like a made-for-TV movie?
it
How? Like
was,
what?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that
Halloween
dog.
Howler.
Yeah, so that dog is the bad version of the good dog. That's what the dog really looks like. Anyway, it's like Jaws with a German Shepherd that's just very well behaved. Basically, like she's reading a magazine. She's sitting in her living room. She looks up. The dog is across the room. She's like, "Oh, what do you want, Lucky?" Doesn't do anything. She looks down her name. The dog is suddenly 3 feet closer. She's like, "That's weird." Read the magazine. This takes like 5 minutes. This is a 5 minute shot where the dog just gets closer and closer until she just
Uh-huh.
gets up and runs upstairs. And then she doesn't shut the dog out of the room, the door. She just lets the dog come in. Anyway, then she gets corrupted. The dog kills the neighbor, kills the principal, kills all these things. So, and the dog is literally not doing anything at all. You get to see that version of the dog from the poster twice. And that dog, as far as I can tell, is a German husky that is black. Or no, it's a husky that's black with little horns and a toupee on. It's amazing. The dog has this huge, like, half mane toupee, and he's the devil dog, or it's I mean, this
I
is
may have
what
to watch this.
I would classify this under I watched this so you don't have to. But I laughed so hard so many times because the devil dog is supposed to be terrifying, and it is literally just a very well behaved dog sitting there. Like that's all it is. So
And one more time, what was the name of this again?
the,
Because
the
I have to watch this.
the name of this movie is Devil Dog: The Hound from Hell, and I do want to
Oh,
talk about how, just real fast, just because this made me laugh a lot too. The dad doesn't know what to do. He goes to the doctor. The doctor's like, "You're fine." He goes to like some mystic. Mystic's like, "I don't know." Oh, and he wakes up one night and the kids and his wife are having a satanic meeting. So this is around I think this was around the Son of Sam time. So it was feeding into
Oh,
that,
okay.
plus the
Yeah.
Satanism worry of 1970s, and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's feeding all this stuff. Anyway, this guy goes to Peru or whatever, and he's trying to find a shaman or something. And the shaman comes and looks over, and he's like, "I don't know what to do. I've got this dog, and I think he's evil." And the shaman goes, "Well, you should look to your Bible. You know how they say in 1,000 years?" And I'm like, this shaman from Peru is talking about the Bible? Like, that's what a terrible shaman, like. And then he goes, "Look at this tattoo and tell me what you see." And I shit you not, it is on his palm, and it is so obviously drawn on with a blue ink pen and a red marker. It is unbelievable. So then I just it's anyway. 4.5 devil dogs. As far as like movies go, I mean, it's it is it's just
I'm really excited to watch this because I
I
love
am
made for TV
too, and I'm
movies from the
usually not
70s.
into these movies, but this sounds great.
And I did not know this kid's name, but his name's Ike Eisman, and he was one of
yeah,
the kids from Escape from Witch Mountain,
yeah, and
which is
No
also a
way.
classic.
so's his
Nuts.
sister. It's his sister was in it too.
Oh no way!
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's
Yeah.
the two kids from Witch Mountain are his kids. Yeah, it's
Oh
like
my god.
I was
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah. So
That's cool.
yeah. So anyway, I didn't want to watch it. I didn't mean to watch it, but I couldn't stop. So anyway, if you're
It's
scared of
okay.
dogs in any way at all, you can watch this because you'll be like, "That is a well-behaved dog." Um, okay.
It's like desensitizing people that have like issues with
Yeah,
fears of
yeah,
dogs.
yeah.
Like, watch this terrifying movie of a dog. Not terrifying at
Yeah,
all, but
I was like,
yeah.
Fine. You'll be
wow,
fine. Yeah.
that dog's the best service dog I've ever seen in my entire life. So anyway.
Won't
Oh,
lead
and
you astray.
I should
Devil
point
dog never leads you astray.
I do want to say that the dog can deflect bullets too. I mean, it's all the basics.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This is
That's
amazing.
yeah.
And
I'm
that yeah.
completely sold now.
So bad news with the Tokyo Police Club, but good news with Devil Dog, the Hound from Hell. So
Absolutely. It's
those,
ebbs and flows. What are we talking about? Ebbs and flows. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
oh my god, I could talk 30 minutes about those movies. Anyway, if you guys can't find it, I'll find it on my cinema again.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, can you put it on the
Yeah,
Plex? Because I feel like this is gonna
Yeah.
yeah,
take me some
Yeah.
time.
We should take this as a homework assignment, and I think
Okay.
maybe we can allow that
Yeah,
extra
yeah.
half an hour of content that
And well, and I did miss the
teased
first.
us with.
I did.
Yeah.
I did miss the first 15 minutes, so maybe that's good as well. I don't know. Anyway, those are my plugs. I'll find it, and if I do find it, we'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
Hey.
Perfect.
All right. Next.
Like that. You kind of intertwine news with a plug, which with the Tokyo Police Club thing. So like it's breaking new boundaries for us
That's
here
right.
at
An
Yes.
innovator.
J&J. Yeah. So I only have two, and Dawson, I fear these are both going to overlap with yours.
I was wondering the same
So
thing, but
why
I'm
don't
okay
I
with
let?
it. Just roll with it.
Well, all right. Well, I'm just going to mention them, and then we can kind of talk about them. So I had
Okay.
two. Last night, and it sounds like you watched this the night before, but I watched the Iron Claw last night. Is
Yes.
available on streaming, and we want to definitely talk about that because it was exceptionally good and freaking heartbreaking. But mostly, I want to talk about Zac
Oof.
Efron. And then
I do too, because Smith texted me something very funny, and I thought the same thing.
yeah, it's fucking nuts. And the other one was the final episode of True Detective. Which have you watched it yet?
Oh, I have watched it. Is not a plug. Go figure.
Okay.
Oh, good. I've been waiting.
Let's-
I've pins and needles since last week.
My other plug is a documentary. So
let's go ahead and let's go ahead and start with True Detective then.
Okay.
So
let's.
You want to take your hot take or my hot take, or should we just
you
both
go ahead
spit it out at the same time? All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I did think I wouldn't say it fully redeemed the series, but it was better in that it did sort of wrap stuff up, which I was kind of wondering. Kathy loved it. Kathy thought it was great. I thought
a
it was
lot of people
good.
Did.
A lot. I
they
thought
just
it was
signed
good.
her up for season 5. I'm like,
no, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, hopefully they can get the original showrunner guy back because
no,
it was a long.
It's Issa, whatever. Like she's.
It was
on
a
board.
long slog,
yeah.
And I do think it's a little bit like you haven't been able to eat in 6 weeks, and somebody tosses you a PB&J, and you're like, oh my god, this
it's
is
very
the
much
most
like
magnificent thing in the world. It was good. It was interesting. I mean, it did tie everything back together. And here's what pisses me off most about it is that I almost I'm conflicted because I want to watch it again, but I absolutely don't want to watch it again. I'm curious of if there was shit that I missed, was it smarter than I gave it or more interesting? But I
know,
don't. I'm not.
I'm with you.
Because I'm sure I will do a rewatch of the whole True Detective run at some point.
Same, for sure.
But anyway,
again, that first season, Tyson, you're gonna watch it. It's fucking amazing.
It's very good. If only for the first season, it's worth. Yeah. But what did you thoughts? Obviously, you weren't blown away by it.
No, because I had a feeling they were gonna just wrap everything up. They did a good job of that. I will say that, but they could have made a better fucking season overall without just filling everything in at the end, hey, remember all that paranormal weird nothingness? No, it's all based in reality of what actually happened. I was like,
and they did
I don't want to give too much away though.
They resolved it kind of in the worst way possible, which is exposition. The last half an hour, just and that is a very lazy way of explaining things.
Cheap. Yeah.
It
was. So I mean, again, it was a neat story, but they just needed to even it out a little bit. They couldn't save everything for the final. So anyway,
it was like a sandwich with really good bread. You know what I mean? The beginning,
it was,
and then the middle of it sucks. You're like, is this okay?
Right. You want some,
I don't
you want
think
some bacon.
lettuce
You
is
want some
right.
bacon in the bite. Bacon in the bite. And there's no bacon in most of the bites.
Keeping it together was decent. So just make the whole thing.
It's beautifully shot too. I mean, that's the thing about it. I mean, it's a gorgeous show to watch.
The setting is very cool. They have there's a thumbs up. Yeah,
I know. Look at that. It only works for you.
I love Jodie Foster, and I like her.
I do too.
What is her name? God, I need to remember that. Tyson, try it again. For those who are just listening, we're doing a lot with our hands. We have jazz hands because Zencaster
some kind of AI is infiltrated there, so it gives us magic emojis when we do. That's not doing anything.
We don't know how it works or why it happens, but we don't.
But the other actress in it was fantastic. I really ended up liking her a lot, and I would like to see her in other things. Other than that, I was just the story sucked, the writing was not that great, and the way that they just tied it up at the end, I was like, of course you did. Of course you did. So anyway, I was I don't know, a little bit too late, everybody, on this. But
I would say if you've made it through if you enjoyed the first 3, I would say you probably should watch it because it's only 6 episodes too.
For sure.
That blew my mind that it was only 6 episodes last week. I was like, holy shit! I was like, really? But so I wouldn't if it's kind of a bonus that they made it short, so you can just kind of get through it, and we'll see better things for season 5 maybe in 8 years.
And also what they did with that character who just gets pushed around by Jodie Foster's character the whole time, and then in that, you know what I'm talking about, Smoke? And then in that 5th, I'm not giving anything away, but something big happens in the 5th episode that he's a part of, and then just the way they resolve his storyline is just bullshit.
That was probably the worst part of it. Yep, that was probably the worst.
He cleans up a giant mess And then it's just like, I love you. I want to be a family man again. And like, but not saying that either. It was just like, I still have things to do. You're just going to have to deal with it. His wife's just
Right.
like, I love you so much. Do what you got to do. I'm like, oh, please. That's not how that goes.
Go fuck yourself. No, I kind of want to watch it.
You should watch it, actually. You should watch that season and then watch the first one, because then you'll be like, oh my God.
I mean, and you don't get me wrong, it's certainly better
planets.
than most. It's certainly better than most television. It just, I think most of the disappointment is how it's just it's the other one's shows were such quality that was a little let down. But you know, because I've seen Freaky Friday, I know what she's capable of, and it just didn't bring it in this one.
That's true. That was a higher watermark.
That was, for real. Jody, come on.
Oh, Jody.
What have you done? Yeah.
I know. Not worth killing a president over. That's where I'm going to leave that. Yeah. Not worth killing a president over for that performance. Yeah. Taxi driver, yes. This, not so much.
Shit, even that one where... oh, never mind. I was going to say the one where the beaver talks, but that was the thing she directed.
Oh, with Mel Gibson didn't direct that. Mel Gibson,
sorry. Anyway.
There's a talking beaver movie?
Yes.
Yeah, that she directed. It's really weird.
It was supposed to be his comeback after he said Jew tits or whatever he said that was so bad. I can't remember.
After the drunken, nasty.
So they were like, we're not going to have you in the movie, but you're going to be a talking beaver. That's how they got around the anti-Semitism.
He was in it.
He's in it.
Yeah,
there's a beaver. Yeah, it's weird.
Jesus,
Isn't it
where
called
was I
The Beaver?
I think
so.
I never actually watched it.
I never did either. I was like, I'll get to this when I get to it. And
The Beaver, it's kind of like the one, that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he got pregnant. Remember that one? I never saw that.
Oh my God,
Junior.
Junior. Yeah.
I knew it was not going to be
The Beaver.
Twins, so.
Yeah, that was a happy accident. I think Twins. I think that was just
yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Movie.
Really did.
Well, that was Harold Ramis, I think, too. Did that? So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think that's right. I might be wrong. Anyway, don't listen to me. Go ahead.
Smith, are those your plugs then?
That was it. Yeah, and just the claw. Okay. Like we hadn't talked about the claw yet.
Oh, so we got to talk about the claw. So I watched, as Smith said, the Iron Claw. What was it? The night before he did. And if you're unfamiliar with that, it's a new movie for rent on all the things.
Yep.
But it's got Zac Efron. It's got Thirst Trap. There it is.
There
it is.
Jeremy Allen White and Harris Dickinson, who I really like. He was in, what was that show that I saw him in recently? Anyway, it's directed by a guy named Sean Durkin. But it's this crazy true story about these brothers in wrestling, like before it became the bullshit that it is today. And I really didn't know anything about these guys prior to the movie. I haven't seen a documentary.
It was
nothing.
WWF. Because I think WWF kind of unified it. So there were all these like regional wrestling kind of groups and stuff in the late 70s, early 80s. And it was the Van Eyck family or Von Erich family.
Von Erich, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I had a buddy in high school that followed regional wrestling, and he was a big fan of this.
No shit.
Yeah, interesting.
He had all these local magazines wrestling magazines from local regions, and he would follow.
That's cool.
It was weird.
Wow.
Anyway, go ahead. Yeah, that's why I might watch it.
The story's just tragic.
I know some of the story about the brothers. So anyway, go ahead.
Bottom line, it's about family bullshit. The dad never became a world champion, so then he pushed all of this wrestling crap onto his sons. They could never live up to these bars that he was setting for them. And then you just see the tragedy that evolves from that. And it is heartbreaking. And everybody in it is fucking great. I will say though, Smith texted me and he was just like, what did you say? You were like, I'm watching The Claw. And then you were like, I just have a question. Are those things real? His muscles, Zac Efron, because they really do look CGI.
They do look
He looks like He-Man, like with the haircut and everything,
yeah.
and
So
the
you mentioned
muscles.
He-Man, and I was like, it's not just the muscles, like it's the haircut. Like
It's the
they
haircut
definitely
too.
channeled He-Man, but he is. I mean, just like the first time you see him on film, you're going to need to take a break as a man and like just kind of walk around the house for about 7 minutes. That's what I did. Because it is like it looks fake as shit, and I'm sure they like have like things that they oils and lubricants and lighting techniques, but holy shit, like it's nuts. Like it really did almost look Tolkish, like it looked like
It
fake,
did.
like
It
yeah.
really did.
I
He
thought
did
like because
look like the Hulk.
they have like those de-aging technologies where they can make Robert De Niro look like he's 45. I thought maybe they had like like workout, like where you just buff, enhance, and like they just ramped it up on him. But it was and he was like, I gotta say, he's really good. He's a really fucking good actor.
I like him a lot. Yeah,
you do too.
I'm a Zac Efron fan for sure. I was before this, but now it's like sealed.
He was in something else recently that he really impressed me. I can't remember what it.
Well, he was
17 again.
I was trying to think that. Yeah, it wasn't that,
was
but I did like that movie.
He was in Neighbors or Bad Neighbors or something like that with Seth Rogen.
Oh, with Seth Rogen.
Yes,
was that the other movie, Tice, where he got real jacked up? Because Jonas was telling me that after he did one of those movies, he was like, I'm never doing that to my body again.
I think he might have done it for it was probably they did a movie version of Baywatch. It was probably that.
Oh, it was Baywatch. Yes.
That's right.
And he, like, the way that he just worked out and like ate really well and like looked great for that movie. And then he was just like, I'm never fucking doing it again. But for this, he took all of that back. Like, he got a fucking spray tan. Like Smith was saying, they did something to his body. It did not look real. It did not look real. He looked like a Ken doll, but like on steroids. Okay,
was it, so like Ryan Gosling looked really fake in Barbie. Is it like worse than that? Like,
but bulkier, like way bulkier, like
way
thicker
bulkier.
neck. Yeah. And with a He-Man haircut. Like and I know he had jaw surgery, so there's a little bit of like difference in his jaw anyway, and I don't want to like, give any more fuel to that. But like his neck and his jaw, like very thick, too thick. Yeah. I was like, this is scary. Like no one should take him on in an arm wrestling contest, let alone fake wrestling. I was like, oh my God.
Over the top too. Zac Efron is back. Okay. I'd watch that. Yeah. Over the top.
I bet that's sitting in a drawer somewhere, Tyson.
It's gotta be in a drawer somewhere.
Joe Esterhaus has written an amazing treatment. So good.
Now they are doing, I don't know if you knew, and this actually is Efron, and there is a new Roadhouse movie coming out.
It's
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Because he was pissed that they weren't going to release it in theaters because it was testing so well or something.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Whatever, Jake Gyllenhaal, you got some fucking abs and you just want it up on a big screen. Shut up. Like, whatever.
Right. First off, if there's ever been a movie that never cried out for a remake, I mean, how do you build on perfection?
Thank you.
I mean,
yeah. Smith.
Movie will always have a special place in my heart because it is
my way or the highway.
It's my way.
Oh God. Yeah, I'll still watch it though. I am gonna watch the remake because
I'll probably have to watch it. Yeah, I'll have to watch it.
And then my last plug, it's a new documentary on the Max called "They Called Him Mostly Harmless." Have you guys seen this?
I've seen the little thing card.
Yeah, the little thumbnail. Yeah.
So
it's about. I like taking tallies of like all of the documentaries Smith and I see in a year, and Tyson's like, "Yeah, I'll get to it."
Hold on, I gotta watch Futurama season 8 one more time.
I've seen the thumbnail. Yeah, I know it. It just gets better and better. But it's about a hiker that was found dead in Florida, and it's all about like these internet sleuths and how they try to identify him and what happens when they do finally identify him and how they work together with law enforcement. Fucking hilarious, you guys. Like, there's one internet sleuth that at first she really broke my heart. I was like, oh, this poor woman. Like, she talks about how she really wanted to be an FBI agent and she works at this dry cleaner's place. And like, she is just a sad, sad sack. And, but she puts so much effort into this group. And I don't feel bad talking shit on her because she essentially started talking mad shit on other group members that were trying to take over this Facebook group from her that had better ideas on how to, investigate and shit like that. And it gets so high school and like petty. And the way that like law enforcement is sprinkled in and how they're working with them is fucking hilarious because they're just like, these bitches be crazy. And like, none of this information makes sense, like most of the time until the end. And they're like, oh yeah, they did find that person and identify him. And then what happens from there is interesting as well.
What was it called? I'm trying to remember.
It is called, they called him Mostly Harmless.
Okay, yeah.
And the name of the hiker, because you learn a lot about hikers, like, and it's all about the Appalachian Trail.
I know. I remember
which is like 3,000 miles
I read
crazy people.
Yeah, I read about this when it came out. I remember that they found the body. I might watch that because I read about it. I thought it was kind of interesting. Because he was a regular, right? He was just always on that mountain, on that trail.
Well, that's where like people kept running into him, and they had tons of pictures of like him with random people on the trail, and you hear from these people who came across him, and his nicknames were Denim or Mostly Harmless. And I was like, that is a fucking awful name. Like, if somebody introduced themselves to me as a woman by myself on the trail as Mostly Harmless, I'd be like,
it's a great
me and
book.
my pistol are going to keep walking, buddy.
It's probably,
I don't own a gun, but I would just make that a point to
there's a pretty famous book by Douglas Adams called Mostly Harmless, which I imagine is probably the reference to it.
And that was, yeah.
Okay.
But I was just saying, like, if you weren't, and they talk about that, Tice, like with the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But yeah, just coming across somebody and he's just like this grizzly looking guy with a backpack that's overpacked, and like you learn all of the reasons why and things like that. It's an interesting portrayal of internet sleuths, if nothing else. Like, and how they're like dogs with a bone.
It's funny because you started describing this, and we actually watched something, and I will have it for the next podcast, but we actually watched something, and I cannot remember what it was called, but the last few days, the same basic concept of like these internet, like people have like, it was about TikTok. It was about, they had like these people who were solving a crime via TikTok. And it's fucking hysterical.
Was it about the Idaho murders? Because I also watched that. The cyber sleuths or whatever.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Tyson, he's like looking at his fucking albums like, what other ones can I
I just is so fun. I mean, you guys was like, here, I'm going to check. Isn't there something called like Stalker, Killer, something like that?
Yes.
Like, and you guys,
Killer, Lover.
I did watch that.
I mean,
I did watch it.
You guys must have the exact same goddamn algorithm running in your entire lives because you're like, because you're both like, I'll watch that.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. It's true.
I do want to. I'm gonna let you finish, but remind me. I need to tell you something a little weird, Matt. But anyway, so yeah, okay. So anyway, Mostly Harmless, right?
Yes,
that's what
they called him. Mostly Harmless. That's the name of it. And I thought it was good. I would watch it again with somebody who hadn't watched it. So there are parts that are very funny, and there are parts that made me really sad about these people that do the internet sleuth stuff. Because I'm like, I just think you need a friend, like.
That's just
I think you're right.
We just watch the, if we start sleuthing ourselves, then I think there's cause for concern. But
that is true. Let's make a pact right now that if any of us start doing that, there will be an intervention. Okay. All right, pound it. Tyson,
I will
pounding it.
will be the enforcer on that. Okay.
All right.
Because
All right. All right.
Dawson has
Yeah,
dabbled.
you can count on me to not go
Yeah,
down that
well,
rabbit hole.
listen,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Dawson has already done that with the people that kept drowning in Austin. She almost
I
went down
did
that
do
road.
that a little bit.
That's
I
true. Well,
did.
that might
Yeah.
be our exception if that.
All right, here's the line. If I tell you guys that I joined a Facebook group and now I'm a moderator,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
when you
Okay.
get
Okay.
Jonas involved and like
Okay.
my
Okay.
parents and all that. Yeah.
All right.
This is the
Okay.
interview really happened.
The intervention. She thinks she's gonna
We're
find
re-
this killer, and she's not at all
She's
gonna
like
find.
grown a beard and she's not shaving her
Yeah.
legs anymore. And she's just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a new crime to solve if she doesn't stop.
Yeah, you buy a police scanner and you just turn it on. And you're like, something's gonna happen.
Any day now, any day.
There are. I hate to say. Well, I mean, you know this, but there are places. There are websites you can go to that just play the police scanners from wherever you want to look at. There was this song by Soul.
Jonas's boss has that. Like she has a police scanner in the office and they just listen to that all day when they're not working.
This is weird thing. Like like there was this song by Soul Coffin called "You Are Listening to Los Angeles," and if you at the time it might still be up if you type in "You Are Listening to LosAngeles.com," it just showed a
Uh-huh.
picture of Los Angeles and it just played the the police the whatever it was thing we were just talking about.
No shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's kind of strange.
That's funny. Yeah.
I do want to talk a little bit. I got an email this week from Plex, and this says your week is in review is ready. And it says week in review, another week, another fresh delivery of what your friends on Plex have been watching, rating, and plan to watch next. And what I got was a list of things that Matt's been watching. And I know it has to be Matt because listen to these titles: The Buttercream Gang, The SLC Punk, Dog Valley, 12 and Holding.
Feel a little violated. A little
I
bit.
I felt violated for you. I was like, shit, does he get? Who's getting these emails? I'm like, yeah. But I mean, it takes a special kind of guy, and we both know him. His name's Matt Smith. It goes from the Buttercream Gang to SLC Punk in the same week. So, and
I hadn't seen it in a long time.
What's Dog Valley about? Just out of curiosity.
It's about it's a Canadian film from 2010. And it has Shane Kipple from Degrassi, The New Generation in it.
Okay.
Anyway, so there's a Canadian, but it's about a juvenile prison, and the goings on
I'm
of
dying.
a juvenile prison. But it's actually not. It takes place in like Montana. So this is good to know because I'm also expecting my update.
Yeah, you should be getting one too. I don't know why you'd be like, oh, geez, you watched 15 episodes of Mystery Science Theater. What a fucking shock!
Yeah, that's interesting. I did not. Good on you, Plex.
This is the name of the show this week. Smith Exposed. So people stay tuned.
Oh god.
Well,
so many things that could be. Glad this is where we. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Yeah.
I didn't judge, but I knew who it was talking about.
Yeah. Buttercream Gang's
never watching Plex again.
Oh, good stuff.
We got a big brother going on over there.
Good stuff. I like watching stuff that I haven't you just can't find like a lot of places. So
Plex is great for that. Plex has a bunch of shit that you just type in the name and you'll find it.
It's got good collection. Good collection.
Yeah,
so that's fun. That was fun.
Well, what have we learned this week? We have definitely set the groundwork for an intervention if necessary.
Yes.
We've learned that maybe we need to turn some things off on Plex, both of us, if we don't want that stuff getting out there.
That's a fact. I literally just wrote that down. Like, check settings before you watch anything.
And embryos on board. I think that pretty much sums up the whole show.
I think so. Killed it this week. I feel like, all right. Yeah. I feel better.
Yeah, me too.
I think we move forward this week. Not every show that I feel like we have.
It's true.
In one direction or another.
Progress, guys. Progress,
That's right.
not perfection.
That's right.
Let's just keep rolling with
correct.
that.
That's right.
fucking funny. Oh my god. I needed the laugh. All right, guys, always a pleasure.
Always.
Absolutely.
Adios.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
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 Will it go? Oh, there it goes.
What?
God, freaking buttons. Zencaster.
Zencaster. Work.
Bastard.